guys, welcome back to the channel, man. I'm getting a kind of a late start today, so the sun's already going down, but that's all right because that just means it's a little bit cooler outside, right? Anyhow, picking back up where we left off, we got basically the main portion of this completed. Now what we need to do for this whole front end, for the bumper, the core support, the fenders, and everything, to be able to slide off of this truck as one piece, the only thing we have remaining to do is we have to connect this, the removable piece, right? The piece that slides out. This needs to connect to this attachment point on the core support in some way. I have decided that I think these pieces that I have sticking off over here, I'm gonna go ahead and chop them off about where I notched it out. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it off clean. Now from there, I don't know, man, like I could angle a pipe from this point up to there and then just like do a pipe going this direction with a washer on it, so then we could bolt it up right there. I could weld it to here. I could also weld it to this section right here coming straight out. I'm not sure yet, man. I'm gonna kind of brainstorm and think about it, but for the time being, this is what it looks like with the bumper off. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this back off. I'm gonna chop these sections off that we don't need, and then also these sections of the frame that we have welded on here, like this whole bottom piece right here, like this little sharp thing, like all of this can be cut off and just kind of cleaned up and made look a lot nicer than what it does. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that for now and chop these ends off, and in the meantime just kind of brainstorm how it is exactly I want to make our connection point to run up to here. Dude, I saw in the comments section in the last video somebody mentioned that this welder has already paid for itself. Think about it, like if I hired somebody to come over here to the house and just do what it is that I've done here, like how much do you think somebody would charge me just for this? I guarantee you that the welder is probably already paid for itself, man. If not, it's damn near paid for itself. Hell, I was telling Josh, I wouldn't doubt that the welder is gonna be the new pressure washer, something I use in every video. All right, gotta get a little bit of that before action. Damn, Gina actually looks pretty good whenever it's all cleaned up, and I'll also clean it up a little bit more, you know, like whenever we're done, dude, whenever we're all completely finished up, before I go to paint this thing, I'm gonna go over with the grinder and round off all the edges and just make everything look as clean as I possibly can, of course. All right, so I've had some time to kind of brainstorm on what it is exactly I want to do with these mounts here. So what I'm gonna end up doing is reusing this same hardware, and this bolt is like super long, which is fine, dude. So my idea here is we'll slide a pipe over, but I obviously need to cut this down to about 2 inches, maybe even 2.5. No, I'll probably just do it 2 inches, maybe 2.5. I don't know, I'll figure it out. But anyhow, I'll cut the pipe down to where when it slides over, the bolt will be hanging out the bottom of it, and we can take one of these washers and actually weld the washer onto it. So then I can slide this over and I actually put the nut on and bolt that down, and then that'll give me a section of pipe that we can weld a section of pipe from this pipe to our pipe that slides off, and yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and get them cut out, get the washers welded on, and then we can bolt them on, and then I think it'd be a lot easier to just show you what it is I'm talking about. Alright, so now I have 2 of these, which is literally 2 inches of our tubing, and then I welded that washer onto the end like I mentioned, and then that will just slide onto our bolt like so. In which I also want to show you guys, watch, these bolts pull out, comes out up here. Like, do you see this thing has a huge ass washer on it? If you look at the hole that goes through, that hole is freaking ginormous, bro. So when that's in there, this thing actually has a lot of play. You know what I mean? So whenever we do get this all finalized and after the truck's all painted and everything, because I'm gonna have to tear it all apart and put it all back together again, we will have some adjustability to get everything all lined up and perfect. And that's the same with the bumper as well. So if you look at the bumper bracket, do you see how these holes right here, they're slotted, so the whole bumper can slide left and right. So basically everything we're doing here still has some adjustability, so whenever we do get this thing all final and done and painted, I'll still be able to get everything all lined up. Anyhow, now I can go ahead and slide this on here and bolt it up. So now with that bolted up, I get to do the fun part of trying to figure out, like I need to figure out the angle to go from this pipe. I decided I think I'm gonna go ahead and go from here because I think it'd look weird going from right here to there. It just seems like that would be stronger to me. This seems like it's gonna be at more of an angle. I don't know. Either way, I'm gonna go off of this tube in here. So I need to go from this point to this point. It has to slightly angle up. It also has to slightly angle back to come to this. And then we also have to notch that piece and that piece. Well, I mean, we have to notch it on both sides, and which it's gonna be at different angles. So this is definitely going to be a learning curve for me right here. That's one really cool thing about having the welder and all this stuff. I know I keep talking about this, but you guys have to understand, man, I'm stoked to be able to do this kind of stuff myself. And I know I'm not the best at it, and obviously it's something I'm gonna have to just learn and get better over time. Like as far as painting, bro, like I painted for 18 years every single day for 8 to 12 hour freaking days, working overtime. I used to paint. That was my entire life. This is completely new to me, so it's exciting for me learning something new. So now I'm gonna go inside and do some research and watch some YouTube videos and get some tips on how to find your angles and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like we're at a pretty good place right now.
Hold up.
Well, good morning to you too. We had a storm last night that rained like crazy, and I mean it's bittersweet because I like whenever it rains a lot because my yard gets watered for free, you know what I'm saying? When it rains really heavy like that, I don't have to water the yard for like a week. But it really messed shit up. Good morning there, beautiful. Man, the spray booth has been in desperate need of some upgrades, man. Of me just spending a day out there, just making things better. And now, that just sealed the deal. Anyhow, guys, I think I have something figured out here. So when I was at Home Depot the other day, I purchased this digital angle finder. But this is kind of like a big bulky thing, you know what I'm saying, for me to get this in here where it is I need it to be. So since that thing's all big and bulky, because you kind of have to do it from the center to the center, what I ended up using is a piece of welding wire. Just another thing that the welder's coming in handy for. Now I got welding wire in my garage to do stuff like this. But basically I lined that up to the center of my pipe and then over to the center of where we need to go, and I made like a little template. So then I was able to take this welding wire and set it in here and find the angle of that. That ended up being just about 12 degrees. So then you come over here to the notcher and I moved this over to 12 degrees and I have my pipe in here, and now I'm about ready to make my first cut. I figured I could at least get the first one figured out, and then I'm gonna go back. I kind of have a game plan on how to find the second angle, but I know it's gonna be one of those things that's gonna be really difficult for me to put into words, like to get it from here to words. So now we hold our notch up here flush to our pipe, and you see that's our angle. You spin that around and it comes in contact. I slide it over a little bit. It comes in contact with this right in the center. So the next notch is going to be a lot more difficult. This pipe actually has to angle up a little bit. So I need to figure out what that angle is going to be for the notch That's one measurement or that's 1 degree I need to figure out. And then I also need to figure out the length. So if I find the right angle for the notch, but I notch this pipe and it's too short, like I could set it in here, and if you look at it, it's matching the angle, but there's a gap and it's not touching it. You know, we have to avoid that. So it's a lot more difficult than just measuring from here to here. To measure the pipe, I'll have to measure from the inside of this notch the distance over to here, but then I have to remember that I'm taking material away with the notch, so that's gonna have to measure from the inside of this notch to the inside of this notch. So therefore, let's say it was 4 inches, it's actually gonna end up being like 4 3/4, because where it is I want to put the center of my hole saw, because the hole saw is going to take out 3/4 this way and 3/4 this way. And you see what I'm saying? That's the reason why I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to put this into words, exactly what needs to be done here. There's a lot going on for just that one little notch. There's a lot of measurements and a lot of figuring out that you have to do. So this is where I am most certainly going to admit that I am not a teacher, especially since I'm learning as I'm going here. Story time. When I used to work in the sign shop, bro, I was obviously the painter. The fabrication shop would always bring me signs, and I used to hate whenever I would get a new project from the fabrication shop. Dude, fabricators and painters, they just never get along, bro, because fabricators are the ones that always put the dents and the freaking stupid welds and shit and warped material that we have to fix. Something that used to drive me absolutely nuts is I would get stuff that is just completely caked in Tool Saver, bro. Tool Saver was my biggest freaking enemy at the sign shop. Tool Saver and WD-40, because I would get signs that are literally dripping with the crap, dude. Whenever I would walk through the metal department on my way to lunch, if I ever seen a thing of Tool Saver, I didn't care if it was brand new or not, sitting on somebody's workbench, I'd always pick it up and throw it in the trash can. It was kind of as a joke if anybody's seen me, but if nobody's seen me, I literally left that sumbitch in the trash can. I didn't care how much that stuff cost. Tool Saver was my freaking enemy, bro. I used to call the metal guys grease monkeys, dude, because the stuff would come over and it would just be disgustingly greasy, covered with grease, WD-40, sweat, and blood. I would be the one that have to clean all that shit off. That is the reason why whenever I am doing stuff like this, I don't necessarily use lubrication. Like, I have WD-40. I could grab some Tool Saver. If you guys didn't know, if you guys know what Tool Saver is, it looks kind of like candle wax. It's a big tube. You like dip your drill bits in it, or you like rub it. I don't know. Either way, I don't like that shit. Because of how many years I spent as a painter, bro, I'd have to get all that stuff off. And now I'm at the point to where, like, if I was using WD-40 to do all this, like, this stuff would be saturated in WD-40. Like right now, I grinded all those edges and everything, and it's ready to weld. Whenever I was using spray paint to mark something, somebody had commented, bro, using spray paint is just going to contaminate your metal. But yet now y'all are commenting telling me to put WD-40 and lubricant and grease all over it? Like, come on now. Not for real though, I do appreciate the advice, and I completely understand the purpose of it. It makes things cut a lot smoother and all that. But whenever I can, I try to avoid using grease and WD-40, because to me, that contaminates the metal a lot more than doing a little bit of spray paint. Spray paint, you can just literally grind it right off. Oil and grease and stuff, that stuff embeds itself into the metal, bro. Like, bro, I am so freaking stoked on this right now. Look at how that freaking came out. It is flush all the way around on both sides. It is just sitting there too, and it's like, it is freaking in there, man. So I got this side all finished up, and then I basically try to mimic that side, do the exact same thing over here. And of course, surprise, surprise, this thing isn't perfectly symmetrical, so I had to shave a little bit off the end on this one. So I had to work a little bit for this one, but it wasn't bad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty impressed on how well this thing has come out. Like, remember, this is my very first welding slash fabricating project, bro. Like, I'm normally like bending and riveting stuff together. Hell freaking yeah there, bud. Now it's just time to tack weld the thing all together. So just throw some tacks on it, then we can pull that thing off and weld the living shit out of it. I was so confused right now. I thought for sure I messed something up, bro. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I couldn't get any wire to come out, but look, I ran out of wire for my first time. Look at me, man, popping cherries around here. All right, so I grabbed some acetone from Old School, and I'm gonna go ahead and use some of this to get the thing all wiped down. And I did see all your comments about getting the welding primer. So now that we are done welding, I can go ahead and hit this with some welding primer. One-piece front end is finally freaking finished. Now let me clarify, this isn't necessarily a one-piece front end, so obviously this front end isn't all one piece, but now you are capable of taking the whole front end off as one piece, you know what I'm saying? So the fenders, the hood, the bumper, the core support, like all this stuff are still individual pieces obviously, but they all bolt together. But now I have the ability of, if I wanted to take the whole front end off to gain access to the engine for whatever reason, bro, whether it's just to do spark plugs, I don't give a shit, I don't have to go and pull the hood off, pull the fenders off in order to get the core support off, and like, you know what I'm saying? So now the entire thing will just slide off all as one. So the whole front end is all supported on our little bracket that we just spent the last week freaking fabricating. And then the rear of this, the only thing stopping it right now from sliding off is that bolt right there, that one, and then there's a bolt down here. So if you go on all the way on the bottom of the fender, so there's a bolt right there. So that means one bolt, two bolt, and then of course the same with the passenger side, there's two bolts over here. So a total of 4 bolts all together. You pull those and then the whole front end will just slide off. Theoretically, I mean, we haven't tried it, but we're getting ready to. That's why Josh is here. Hi Josh.
What's up?
He came over to give me a hand pulling the front end off. No, like a physical hand. Like you're gonna have to help me lift one of the sides.
My mom's calling me.
If your mom left you.
Yeah, that's true.
Up. Down. 1 bolt. 2 bolts. Over here. 3 bolts. 4 bolts. Alright, I want to clarify one more thing. So as you guys know, I've already mentioned this. I got inspiration from watching a friend of mine's YouTube channel. And his name is Robby V. He has a YouTube channel. It's called Robby V Garage. And I'll also have the videos of his front end conversion on his truck in the description down below. So please do go check them out. But now his truck, he has a fiberglass hood. And his hood like pins on right here, right? So in order to gain access to his engine bay, he has to open the little like latches or whatever on both ends, and then the hood lifts off. Now I'm trying to keep mine like kind of more of a street truck style, so I do want to retain my hinges. So these hinges, whenever you shut the hood, this whole little section right here goes down into the cab of the truck. That right there does not come off with the front end. So my theory here is if we just leave the hood propped up, we shouldn't have a problem just sliding the front end off. I think it should work, bro, because it does clear. And if anything, we just have to lift up on that side a little bit as we come off. The truck is rolling. Let me chalk the tires. Take two. So everything worked great, but the problem is when the fender down here hits the tire, we have to be able to lift the back end up over to clear the tire. But you can't do that because when the fender hits the tire back here, the pipe is still inside of here. So what I need to do is actually cut these down basically as short as I can get them. So I need them to be long enough to where they stick inside of here, just the length of what we have sticking out of the frame right here, so about 2 inches. So whenever they go in, they'll sit in like that, because mind you, I am going to drill a hole through here, and I'm going to get pins that go in that have the little lock ring on it. So then the front end's not going to be able to come, I mean, it's not going to be able to come off either way whenever it's bolted in the back, but just for added security, man. Alright, I got those cut down shorter, and I also beveled the edges of it just so that it's kind of like a little rounded, and it's not like just straight square, you know what I'm saying? And now what I'm gonna do is take, I don't even know what this bit is called. Focus. Yeah, so this little thing right here, this thing will chew away at some metal, dude. Even steel. It's not just for aluminum. This thing gnaws at some steel. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and bevel the inside of this pipe. I just want to put a little bit of a bevel on it, and then obviously I'm gonna lube the inside of this really good, and then probably lube that up just to make this as simple as possible to slide on and off. Oh, baby. Let's get it on. Alright, we got this all cut and beveled, and we got this all beveled and lubed. So now we're gonna go ahead and give it another shot. Over the tires. Bro, what's up? That was way easier, right? Alright.
Now switch sides and see if we get it out.
Way easier, bro. Way freaking easier. That's what's up. Alrighty, well, we got this thing all set up. What are you gonna do?
Go get it back.
Oh, you gonna go get the bag real quick?
Yeah.
Alright, I'll be here waiting for the bag, bro. Alright, we'll be back. Josh's gonna run to his house, go get the bag. Josh never does burnouts. That was actually him leaving slightly more aggressively than he normally does, just because I'm recording. Josh is back with his bag. Did you get the bag?
Got the bag, bro.
Josh's birthday is tomorrow, but it's actually today as you guys are watching this video. So he had one birthday request.
One request.
One request.
Request. Get yourself a delicious bag of Deadbeats coffee. I'm telling you, this is delicious.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I can honestly tell the difference. You put a cup of Folgers and this next to it, this stuff is delicious.
So yeah, this is Josh's baby pretty much, man. He's been working on this. So how many flavors are there?
There's like at least 6 or 7.
6
So
or
if you're
7?
a dark roast person, there's a dark roast. If you're a light roast person, there's a light roast.
And they have it in ground up and in...
Yeah, they've got like a couple different options for you to choose from when you check out.
Okay, yeah, there's a bunch of options. But yeah, there's Deadbeats coffee, bro. This is Josh's baby, man. He's had it available now for a couple of weeks, so...
And you know what? Just because it's my birthday, 3 times entries when you buy coffee tomorrow.
3 times entries when you buy coffee?
Tomorrow.
You didn't even clear that with me,
That's
you
right.
bastard. That's alright. Do you know what? I'll honor it, bro. So I'll have the link in the description down below. If you guys go to the website, this is a separate website from DeadbeatGarage.com.
Deadbeatscoffee.myshopify.com.
Yeah, so I'll share the link in the description down below. If you guys are coffee drinkers, or if you got somebody in the family that drinks coffee, just go in there and go grab a bag, grab 2 bags, whatever.
Coming up.
And Josh will do 3 times entries. So every $5 you spend on coffee tomorrow, the 10th,
Yeah.
August 10th.
August 10th.
So any coffee purchased on August 10th, Josh's birthday, will be 3 times entries towards the car. So.
Man. Man. Coffee and an EK.
And you only have 5 days left to enter. So, hell yeah. Grab yourself some coffee and get 3 times entries. Peace. Happy birthday, motherfucker!
Old as fuck.
How old are you?
You know, you don't want me to tell. Remember during podcasts or during the live, you're like, don't tell them, they'll know how old you really are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, guess how old Josh is. We can't tell people how old you are because, well, all the youngsters will be like, man,
Yeah.
this fool's an old
These
head.
old heads.
These old heads. I ain't gonna watch these old heads. Anyhow, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Got the front end done. Oh, I mean, we got the removable portion of it done, so that's all finished up. Now, coming up next, I need to get some weight off of this. Not only do I need to cut some weight out of it because this is gonna be a race truck, a street race truck. I also need to make room because we need to fit an intercooler in here as well as a radiator, and I think it's going to be pretty tight. So I'm probably going to be getting rid of a pretty large portion of this core support. We got some fender lining in here we can get rid of. I definitely need to get rid of this because that's going to be in the way. And of course, we got a bunch of work we got to do to the chassis itself. So a lot of work still left for the S10. I hope you guys are as excited about this damn thing as I am. Remember, the 15th is the last day that you are capable of entering for the EK, but I am also giving away my BMW. The E46 is being raffled off as well, and if you purchase a ticket for the E46, that gets you also 8 entries towards winning the Civic. So if you buy a ticket for one car, you also get 8 entries for the second car. It's basically like double dipping, bro. So
You know what's good at dipping? Coffee.
this guy.
Dip stuff in coffee.
Later, guys. See you on the next one.